going live at the moment. And as we do this, we'll go live on this broadcast on the BCA B2B Live channel, and then we'll edit it. This is the unedited version, then we'll go and edit onto the Wise Women Do as we debut. So I shall go ahead and get us started. Awesome. Well, welcome, welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Wise Women Do podcast interview series. I'm your host, Pamela McKinney, and we are produced by Linda J. Thomas. This is a space where we speak to business-minded women and the men who support them to be enlightened through adversities we all may face in business, but in their journey, we reveal how they have navigated through the state of course and reaching their goals. So today I am very excited about my guest, Cheryl Shiver. Cheryl is someone who is an absolute powerhouse of confidence and resilience. At only a few months from turning 70, she radiates wisdom, strength, and the kind of confidence that only comes from with embracing oneself. A phenomenal woman. She doesn't just talk about aging and grace. She embodies it, as she's a living proof that every year is an opportunity to redefine your beauty, your resistance, and your purpose, whether she's mentoring younger generations to champion self-love or boldly pursuing new dreams. She walks the walk. So showing us that aging isn't just about fading into the background. It's about stepping into our power. And that's with renewed energy and inspiration. So I welcome to my listening audience, Miss Cheryl Shiver. Welcome, Cheryl.
Hello. Thank you.
Yes. So I want to remind our listening audience that we want you to please like and subscribe to this channel and to the podcast, Wise Women Do, that YouTube channel, and then also Fave Unite Radio and Wombology Radio that reaches over 40 countries. So our subscribers are welcome to join our monthly raffle where we have our Wise Women Do brand partner unboxing events. So let's dive in. Our listening audience, again, I welcome Cheryl Shiver to the Wise Women Do podcast interview series. And we're going to highlight and let her highlight her incredible journey, her wisdom, and insights on aging with grace. So let's talk about it. Talking about confidence, which is something many women aspire to embody, Cheryl.
Right.
What's been the biggest factor in maintaining your confidence over the years?
Well, honestly, it's the Leo. It's the ego part of it.
I love that.
I just,
it's the Leo in me.
Yeah, it's the Leo in me. So I just think that confidence is something that you just have. You have it or you don't have it. I sometimes will see someone that's, on social media that's dressed to a T, but they're not radiating the confidence in whatever it is that they're wearing. They don't have confidence. Somebody put them in it, but it's not them. So it's not confidence. Confidence comes from within. It's all about yourself. You have to have confidence. And it's something I guess you can build upon as you start to love yourself, take care of yourself, and get to the point where I'm that girl, which I am. But that's when you
it's the mindset. You're right. You're right.
It's a mindset. Yeah.
And anyone can wear that shield of I am that girl because it comes from within. Exactly what you're saying. I love that. Yeah. So your real estate career has been a success. Your modeling journey has flourished and you've conquered bodybuilding competitions. How do you balance these passions while staying true to your femininity and your feminine energy?
Well, it is a juggle and it does sometimes get tiring. But one thing for sure, I get my 8 hours sleep no matter what. And I think that's imperative. Some people can survive off of 3, 4 hours of sleep, but I do need my 8 hours of sleep.
Yes.
Juggling it is not as hard as it sounds, because it sounds like I'm doing a whole lot of things, but most of them don't intervene or intertangle with each other. So if I'm doing real estate, typically I'm probably not competing. Once if I'm competing, it generally takes about anywhere between 18 and 12 weeks of my time.
Okay.
Okay, that's the training part of it. So, mostly that's first thing in the morning. So there's no problem with going from that if I have a real estate appointment or having to do searches for real estate. And I find that when I do go to the gym and when I do lift, I'm more energized. It pumps you up. So when I leave the gym, I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. I'm like, okay, where am I gonna go next? What? Because my adrenaline's up. So it doesn't really present a problem as far as juggling all of them, if that makes any sense. It
It
just
does.
kind of like it falls in place. And it's funny because I just posted a video yesterday where right now I'm really trying to get back into my competitive mind so I can be ready for my birthday party, right? And so I've been working out and meal planning. And yesterday I didn't go to the gym because I did some painting downstairs and I did some yard work. So what I had mentioned was that I was lifting these bags of mulch out of the car into the backyard. And my message to people was, you don't necessarily have to go to the gym, but I'm substituting my arm day, my upper body day with working out, painting and lifting. And my thing is just do something, just keep moving. Because I believe when you slow down, you get sedentary. That's when the pounds get on. That's when the lounging mindset gets on, and it's too hard to go. It's too hard to do.
Great advice. I agree with you. Just do something. Do
Yeah, just do
something.
something. Yeah.
And count everything as something. I mean, if you recognize and reward yourself, I think that's part of it too. So
Yes, yes.
that is good. Yeah, recognizing it. But I love that. So, what myths about aging do you think need to be shattered, especially women approaching their latter years?
I think this is just me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Stop listening to all that BS on social media. Stop letting doctors tell you, oh, your hormones are this, oh, you're this, oh, you can't work out because you're PMSing. Oh, I didn't go through none of that. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they're talking about. I never took any pills for menopause. I've never had a menopausal state. I never had premenopause. I don't even know what that stuff is. And I believe I believe we just want so bad to have a reason to be on medication. We want so bad to have a reason why we're feeling a certain way.
Mm.
I don't believe in that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in your mind, and you got to remember, pharmaceutical is the biggest money making business that there is. Stop giving the doctors your money. There's nothing wrong with you. A few weeks of cramp. I cramped like nobody's business when I was on my cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody's business. But that was back in the 70s and 80s. They didn't have all these medications and all these drugs for us to take. Then we just put a hot pad on those little pads on our stomachs and kept on going. Y'all better stop with all that madness. That's just me. I don't believe in none of that. And look at me. I am going to be 70 and I'm on no medications. None.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
None. So stop running to the doctor for every little thing.
That's right. I mean, the competitions and everything that you participate in are all
Mhm.
natural. I
I
mean,
do
you're
all natural shows. Now I do participate in Lee Haney's show, but
okay.
his show is not all natural, but I am an all natural competitor. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if we get back to what's to God's green earth and and our meal prep, as you mentioned earlier, I mean, you could definitely, it's all
Mm-hmm.
encompassing what we put in our body and our mindset, mind, body, and soul.
Right. And I have a lot of times people will send me different competitors and stuff, that are vegans. And I'm like, well, that's great for her, but I'm not a vegan. I'll stop and pull up a McDonald's in a minute.
You
So,
eat what you want, but you do the
you,
work to take that off too.
well,
You got to do the work.
it's not even so much. I just think everything should be done in what's the word I'm looking for?
Moderation.
Moderation.
Yes.
One McDonald's hamburger and a fry and a chocolate shake is not going to put 10 pounds on you.
Yeah.
It's because you get the quarter pound and the large out of fries and you double that shake. It's
Yes.
because you go to the buffet and you call yourself eating a salad and your salad is piled up this high with all the thick sauce on it. Yeah. It's moderation, people.
That's right.
I eat whatever I want. Whatever I want.
Yes.
There's ice cream in my freezer right now. I love piece of cake cupcakes. You just have to do things in moderation. Do I eat it every day? No. Do I, you just have to eat in moderation. People are happy when they go to a restaurant and the plates are loaded with all this food.
Yes.
Every time we want to celebrate, it's about food.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go to a concert and I see people halfway dragging mini refrigerators with them. Why you gotta eat to go and listen to Bobby Blue Bland? Why you gotta eat? It's just music. I've never seen so much
food and fellowship. Food goes
no,
with
it's not.
fellowship.
Food is fat as Food is fat as shit. Food is putting pounds on you.
Oh my God. I hear you, girl. I hear you.
It's
so
true. I mean, I don't mind. I'm not
get,
saying you can't. I'm not saying you can't have a picnic. I'm not saying
yeah.
you can't take food to a concert. But what I be seeing folks coming to the concert with, it's just ridiculous.
We do overdo it a little bit.
You overdo it. It's like you ain't ate in a week. You waited for this concert to eat.
Oh my goodness. So you have been featured in inspiring publications, including
Yes.
Best Self Atlanta.
That was the best. Yes. Yes.
How do you hope your story motivates women who might doubt their ability to reinvent themselves at any age?
I post. I post a lot. I pretty much post every day, but I don't say a lot. I just pictures. And because number one, I don't think people take the time to read what you're saying anyway. But pictures are worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So if my photos motivate you, that's all I can do. I would love, for real, I would love to be a spokesperson. I would love to go to the churches. I would love to go to the schools. I would love to speak about my journey because it's plausible. It can happen. I post all the time my before and after pictures. People say, "Oh, well, you were always thin. You were always this." I was always thin, but guess what? I was fat. I had love handles. I had cellulite. The reason why I got into competition was not because of me. It was never on my bucket list. My bucket list was to have a bikini body. So I was following this trainer, Sean Lewis, on Instagram. He's out in Lawrenceville, Plus Size Fitness. And he guarantees, ladies, a bikini body in 8 weeks. You don't have to be a competitor, but he guarantees you a bikini body in 8 weeks. So that's what drew me in. I was having my swimming pool built, being the California girl that I am, had to have my pool. So I was having a pool built in my backyard.
Yes.
And I looked at my body. I'm like, you're not ready for a pool. Compared to everybody else around you, you are. But for me, I wasn't. I had a small frame, had cellulite, love handles, back fat, the works. Pictures are posted. And I went to him and I looked at his pictures, his before and after his other clients. I liked what he was talking. I liked what he said he can get me there. I wrote my check and I started. And probably within the maybe within that month, he said, "You know what?" He said, your body is quickly responding to these workouts. He said, "You're diligent. You're doing what I'm telling you to do. You're following the directions. Have you ever considered competing?" I said, "No, what is that?" He said, we're going to sign you up. We're going to compete. And he saw something in me that I never saw in myself.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who Lee Haney was. I've been in 3 Lee Haney conventions. I got his personal phone number now and everything. Didn't even know anything about bodybuilding. But my trainer Sean saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and he created a monster. Because after that, I did my first show, and I hit the wrong box, and I ended up on stage with 30 and 40-year-olds. I was
Wow.
petrified.
Wow.
When I found out that I was going, I said, I can't. I'm not. I won't. This is me backstage. I'm panicking. I'm having a panic attack. I said, I'm not
Yes.
going on stage with them girls. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that day right here. This is that day.
Wow.
This is that medal. I took fourth place, but it was amongst 30 and 40-year-olds. And
Yes.
so when I got off the stage, I said, if I can place fourth with them, imagine what I could do with my own age group. And
Mm-hmm.
so from that point on, I competed in my own age group. And right now, to this day, on my medal, I have 7 first place medals in 60 plus category.
Ooh. Wow. You have been doing that for almost 10
I
years,
started, I
more than 10
started, I
years.
started, ladies and
Mm-hmm.
gentlemen, at 63 years
Wow.
old.
Wow. That is not
Three.
inspiration. I don't know what is. I don't know
I
what
know that's
is.
all I can do. Look, who used to say that? I can't
I can't do more.
do no more. That's all I
But
can do is that's all
one
I can
word you
say.
one word you said that he said to you is you were diligent. You were,
Right.
dedicated
I
to,
was dedicated.
yeah, to the vision you
Mm-hmm.
wanted in your
Right.
own mind,
In my own, and that's what I
Yeah.
tell people.
Mm-hmm.
You have got to want it. You
Mm-hmm.
can look at me and want to be like me, but you have got to want it. It's gotta resonate with you. You have to want it. And you don't want to. I mean, teach their own, but some people get it for their wedding and then go right back to where they were before the wedding.
Yes, yes,
I worked too hard to get to this. That's why right
yes.
now I'm like, you'll see me. I go to the gym 7 days a week, like I'm hardcore training, but I'm gonna be
Wow.
in there 3 to 4 because I
Mm-hmm.
just want to maintain. I worked too hard to get to this to let it go.
Yes.
And I've got to the point where I can do it, and like I say, still enjoy life. I can still go out and drink. I can still have my French fries. I can still have my cake and ice cream because I do it in moderation. I don't
Mm-hmm.
go all weekend. I don't come home and do it. I do it on special occasions, and I
Mm-hmm.
have a good time. If it's hot outside, I'll stop and get me an ice cream. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to deprive myself of the joys of eating.
That's right.
I know there's pleasure in eating, but you have to recognize when too much is too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Double portions may be too much.
Right.
You can push the plate away if you're not
You can push the
done,
plate away and don't go to a restaurant just because they heave hold your plate up high.
Yes.
Just and then
Well,
try to cook more at home. When you
hey.
cook at home, it's healthier.
Mm-hmm.
And I've
Yeah.
learned, that when I'm competing, my diet primarily when I'm competing, and it fluctuates depending on how my body is acting, how much muscle I'm gaining and not gaining. Because there's
Mm-hmm.
been times competing, my diet has consisted of steak and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't
Yes.
mad. So it just depends
Yes.
on where your trainer is trying to get your body.
Sure.
But on the norm, it's rice, chicken or fish, grilled, not fried, ladies. Not
Mm-hmm.
not not teriyaki and lemon pepper wings. It is breast, is chicken breast,
Mm-hmm.
protein-based meals, fish, chicken, and like I say, we'll have beef every now and then. Surprisingly, no salads. No
Yeah.
salads
Wow.
whatsoever. Surprisingly, no salads. Egg whites for breakfast, whole grain wheat toast, green
Mm-hmm.
tea. But the problem with it is consistent for
Yeah.
18 weeks, the same thing over and over and over
Mm-hmm.
and over again. And my
Mm-hmm.
trainer would always say, you don't eat for enjoyment, you eat for fuel, you eat
Oh,
to
they
be happy. So,
and every now and then you can enjoy, just every
right,
now and then.
right,
But
right. But I'm not in that mindset when I'm
that's
not
right.
training.
When you're training. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's only when I'm training. When
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
training, I pretty much eat the same. I find myself surprisingly when I open up my refrigerator, I got the same
Mm-hmm.
stuff in there. So,
That
so
makes it easy.
Like, why aren't you
Makes it
dipping into something
doable.
different? Why aren't you doing something different?
Mm-mm.
But
This is
you
what
get kind of
works.
used to it, you know.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, I'll have the barbecue. You know, the other I went to a festival the other couple of weeks ago, and man, I had some barbecue rib tips. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good.
Oh, well, I know we're talking about personal wellness, fitness, and mindset tips and things of that nature. And I mean, everyone is not gonna train, but I mean, it
Right,
really is about your best self. I mean,
right.
that's what this is all about. And I
That's what
remember
it's
when
all about. That's what I'm saying. Because
yeah,
I did not go in there to be a competitor.
mm-hmm,
I went in there just to lose weight and get that bikini body. I
yes,
got that and more so. And that's why a lot of times, even when I put on a cute dress, at the
mm-hmm.
bottom of at the bottom of my post, I'm gonna say, "Thank you, Sean Lewis, for this body."
He
I'm
thank you for
conscious
being the inspiration because you did
because
the work.
he gave it to me. I'm putting
Yeah.
in the work, but he gave it to me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he gave me the mindset. You know, so I am forever ever grateful to him. I am always grateful to people who have made what I want to say these big moves in my life. When I
Yeah.
moved from LA to here, there was a friend of mine, Baron Farwell. He says, you know what, Cheryl, you know, why are you still here in LA? You know, you've been here all your life. You know, step outside your boundaries. So I go to Atlanta a lot, and I meet a lot of up and powerful Black women in Atlanta, and you could be one of those. He
Mm-hmm.
said that to me in October. I
Mm,
closed escrow in December. I was
mm.
out of there. And every once in a while, when I'm over here in my so I'm outside laying by my pool. I'm at one of my parties.
Yes.
At the bottom, I say, thank you, Baron Farwell.
Yes.
I thank people
Mm-hmm.
who have made valuable, passed on valuable tips to me in my
Yes.
life. And that's why I'm always, even if I can't do a thing, I will share it with someone else. If I
Mm-hmm.
hear something that I can't afford to do, but I know my friend got deep pockets, I'm gonna pass that, whether they do it or not, I'm gonna pass that information on to them
Sure.
because that's what people do for me. People
Mm-hmm.
have given me some great information. I've, I've accepted it, and it's made the better for me in my life. And those
Yes.
people I always remember to think. And I also must always thank my son
Mm-hmm.
because this girl right here, this this outwardly going person, this person who goes to concerts, this person who throws the to me the best parties, or I always have a good time at my party. I got that from my son. I
Yes.
got that from my son, and my son always tells me, you know, because I'm human. I get down, I get sad. He says, "Mom, don't put the negativity in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Always try to stay positive." And I got that from him. And a
Yeah.
quick side note, my son, which a lot of people may or may know, went to prison. He served 10 years in prison, first time offense, but his sentence was commuted by Barack Obama on my 60th birthday. But
Mm-hmm.
when he went into prison, instead of me becoming a woe is me mother and getting sad and depressed, my promise to myself was I was going to take over the reins where he left off because he was Mr. Popular. He was the one that, you know, was on the radio and doing all these things. He was the one that was in the clothing line. So I started a clothing line. I
Mm-hmm.
started, you know, going out and making new friends and having that outgoing personality. I became him. I became him, and I wanted to show him that I'm going to be okay. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be okay. And when you come out, I want to be younger and look better than I did when I don't want you to see that I aged, basically.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't want you to see that I aged and I worried about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept that promise to myself. And now he and I, we going strong. 2 years ago for Mother's Day, he took me to Paris to go see Nas and the Wu-Tang Gang. So it's stuff like that that keeps
Yes.
me youthful. My
Yes.
son keeps me youthful. The music, the concerts, keeping me up all night. My
Mm-hmm.
son keeps me youthful. So
Yeah.
ladies, tip into that son of yours, There's, look, I ain't got a man, but I got my
Mhm.
son.
Well, I guess I attribute that to just enjoying life,
Yes.
and being about. And I think that that's a very dear love letter he would give you as the woman who was a pivotal person in his life, because that's what this show is all about. That's what our
Yeah.
podcast is, inspiring
Yes.
words from the journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
do appreciate that. And you gotta just live life. You can't just aging does not mean to ball up into a ball and sit over in a corner.
My
No,
friend, again, I'm always giving my people their props. My friend William Hinton said to me, he gave me a thing one time on one of my posts, and I use it now. He says, "Don't let aging change you. Change the way you age."
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, William. Yeah.
And the decisions that we make, and this is what I thought about as I turned 60, when before I said, well, 2 years when I was 58, I said, by the time I'm 60, because I do not enjoy exercising. I know you can do it and then you might start to actually like it or
Like
love
it,
it.
yeah. Because
But
I didn't either.
if I don't have that motivation, I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. It's all in the mind. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that I don't have a choice. That's what motivated me. I don't have a
Yes.
freaking choice. Right.
Right.
And
Right.
so with that, I promised myself by the time I turned 60 that I would at least have made that effort to be in the best shape of my life, by the time.
Right.
And I still am not there. But I am so re-inspired today. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not quite there yet.
And I'm not going to say it was easy, because when I was training, I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I
Mhm.
drove all the way out to Lawrenceville. I live in
Yeah.
Douglasville. So that was
Yes.
an hour drive, an
Mhm.
hour workout, and then an hour back home. But I'm not a quitter. It was hard, but I'm
Mhm.
not a quitter. So
Right.
once I say I'm going to do a thing, I follow through on that thing. And so
Mhm.
that's what kept me going. And then once I won, that Leo in me popped up. I'm like, oh, let's
Oh,
go,
I'm
let's
looking
go.
good now.
I did that. I did that. Let's go.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, looking back at what moments in your journey made you realize aging could be an advantage versus a limitation, like you have made it into your brand.
I've made it into my brand. And the funny thing is, when sometimes I sit back and I remember, I've always kind of looked young for my age.
Okay.
And I remember I never forget, I used to go to carnivals, right? And I realized that people never could guess how old I was. So I would always win at the carnivals when they would have the guessing the age game. I would always win at that. I'd always walk away at that. I'd always win at that.
Yes.
But I'm gonna tell you something honestly. For me, I I don't know how to say this, but for me, it's not an advantage, because older guys are too old. Look at you, Pam.
I'm waiting and agreeing.
And younger guys are too young. I have to find a happy medium,
Hmm.
and for someone that matches my energy, you
Yes.
know. So I'm caught between a rock and a hard place, for real, for real.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes I feel like I'm damned, because again, I'm saying I'm single, and I'm single because I like younger men, but younger men like me. But then when I tell them how old I am, younger men run. And the
Mhm.
old guys are I am not dating no 70-year-old man. I'm just going to tell you that right now, guys. So don't even try. I'm not dating a 70-year-old man. And look, I'm going to be like Anna Nicole Smith. You're old, you're in a wheelchair, you got money. Okay. But other than that, there's nothing an older man can do for me. Nada. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
keeping it
So I
real.
feel like I'm cursed when it comes to that part. I feel like I'm cursed. I really do.
Oh
And
boy.
I just have the energy. And I was on the phone talking to an insurance guy the other day. He said, "Lady, you ain't 70. You don't sound like you're 70. I
Hmm.
don't sound like I'm 70. I don't act like I'm 70. I don't
Right.
dress like I'm 70. I don't have a mindset of a 70-year-old.
Hmm.
I just enjoy life too much. And
Hmm.
sometimes I feel like I'm childlike, but I am who I am, and it is what it is.
Yeah,
I
I
just
love it.
ouch. I just keep trying to I
Yeah,
keep moving.
No, it's and I know it's just really a matter of you not meeting that perfect match yet,
Right.
because there's someone out there that's 70, a
Ah,
male that
ah, nah, nah.
that
No,
does
let's say
work
60. That's
six.
not 70. No,
You
no, no,
can't
no,
be
no.
no
Because
70, that could be
no, I don't
your
know, because I don't want to be
match.
70.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
want to be 70.
I mean, he has a younger mindset too. I'm just okay.
I
I'm not even
haven't,
gonna try.
Pam,
Never
listen,
gonna.
no, no, Pam, no, no, Pam, really, for real. Pam, have you seen that? Have you seen him? Tell me, have you
I
seen it?
actually have. I actually have.
Really? Really?
Right, right. I feel you. I'm
No,
trying to
no,
give the all men a
I'm open.
chance.
Y'all, I'm really, let me retract that. I'm open, but Jesus Christ, you should see the old men
Shoot
that
your
come to
shot now.
me.
Come on, y'all. You gotta be
Y'all, come on, y'all. Y'all gotta step up y'all
cut
game.
me
Y'all gotta
something.
get in, y'all
There you
gotta get in the
go.
gym. Y'all gotta have some energy. You guys gotta, you gotta love what live. My motto: live, laugh, love, dot, and dance. If you don't dance, don't
And
come nowhere near me.
dance.
Don't
And
come nowhere near me
dance.
if you don't like to dance. And I'm not
Yes.
talking that boots on the ground line dancing crap.
Get into the spirit, get into your soul dancing,
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
hear you. I use dancing for exercise, because it just works. I can do 3 songs of something and I don't,
That's
put forth some,
good.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
that's
Because
what
look, that's all Zumba is.
that's
Zumba is
right.
nothing but
That's
dancing.
right. That's right. That's right. That
You
is
guys, you
right.
might see me keep moving my camera, but I just don't see my lighting as being proper. So I just hope you guys.
You are
I'm so
fine and
mad.
you are
Okay.
great. You are
Okay.
great. All right. So let's see. We're talking about you stepping. I wanted to talk a little bit about other women and any advice you give for those stepping into a male dominated spaces such as business or fitness.
Well, I saw that question and I really don't have an answer for that. I
Okay.
can't really speak on that.
Yeah.
Right, let me just say right now, there's this young lady on social media who is blasting the Arnold. And what
Mm,
she is saying is that the women athletes in bodybuilding are not being treated properly. They're not making the same pay scale for the same, winnings that the men are. And I'm
mm-hmm.
talking about it is vast,
Wow.
a vast difference.
Not
If a guy
surprised.
made $100,000, the woman might have made only $10,000. So
Mm-hmm.
they're fighting that right now. I'm not into that. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. I don't find that I'm having any problem as far as real estate with that kind of
Mm-hmm.
vibe. So
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how to really address that question.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Well, as you near your 70th year around the sun, what excites you most about this new chapter of your life and any new, this next decade? What you thinking about?
What I'm thinking about is first, I was going to say I'm not even going to ever acknowledge being 70.
Hmm.
I said that to myself when I was it was, when I got about 69.50, I was like, okay, that's where you stop. And you're not even tell anybody yourself. I met a guy this weekend. I'm not even gonna tell him how old I am. He said,
Mhm.
you didn't, I'm gonna let you start to like me first.
Yeah.
Because if I tell you how old I am, you're gonna run. But baby,
Hmm.
please understand this girl, everything about this girl is
Hmm.
45. Everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
Everything. Okay. But when I was at 69.5, well, I really thought, okay, sure, I'm not gonna acknowledge 70. I was not even gonna throw a 70th birthday party. I'm going to embrace it. There was just something about the number that was just so disgusting to me.
Hmm.
And disgusting. 70 is freaking disgusting to me. And I guess it was disgusting to me because when I look at other 70-year-olds, they're old. When I step into a room and I see ladies and they in there, they dance and they trying to drop it like it's hot stuff. Like, I'll sit under my breath and say, girls, y'all don't even want me to get on that floor with y'all. I'm gonna sit back and act like I'm that 45-year-old because if I told you how old I was, y'all would kick me out anyway. And so it's hard for me to accept being 70, except for it's for real, for real. What do I look forward to in my 70s? I don't know, Pam.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know. I think I might do one more show in October or November, just
Okay.
just because, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so I can just say I did it at 70.
Mm-hmm.
My goal for is I think we tapped on it earlier, is just to,
Live life.
go out and speak about my age, go out and speak
Yes.
about being youthful, go out and speak
Yeah.
about, not letting age change you, change the way you age, you
Right.
know. Um, just be a spokesperson. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've reached out to the Portia show, the Essence
Mm-hmm.
magazine.
Mm-hmm.
My son has submitted me to Sports Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's listening, or nobody's interested, but
Not yet.
I feel like I'm viable. You
Yes.
know, I mean, I see 60-year-olds that are getting all this crap, but baby, I'm 10 years older than you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I see people that are fit, but when they talk, they sound old. Back to that confidence thing. You might be 70 and look 40, but as soon as you open your mouth, you sound like somebody's grandmama. And
Yes.
I'm just telling the truth. You know, I think I'm like, what's that word? You're an analogy. I just think that I'm so different.
Anatomy.
I am so
Yes.
different. And
Enigma.
it's, it's
Yeah.
sometimes I literally feel like I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. Looking
I
too youthful to be old, not old enough to be old, not old enough to be represented in AARP, not old enough because I don't have the gray hair and I don't talk old, I don't dress old, my energy level isn't old. But now sometimes I don't even put my age. I lie about my age. I use my son's birthday.
Oh my goodness. No, no, no. We embrace you got to embrace that. And then this is a
Oh,
new
I'm saying
decade.
when I'm applying for things,
Oh, I know. I'm not.
when I'm trying to get modeling gigs or get in front of a camera, something like that.
Uh-huh.
I won't tell them how old I am because they look at how old I am and they won't believe me. They
Mm-hmm.
just, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they believe me. So I'm like, let me just fudge this. Let me just fudge and see if I can get that call. Then I tell them how old I am.
Well, I tell you, you just keep doing what you're doing in regards to putting the word out. When you're sharing who you are and you're pitching, essentially, you're pitching
Right.
to them to take interest in your story. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what drew me to you in this interview today for Wise Women Do, is you're very inspiring, and other women need to hear this. So you have a niche that is very inspiring. People need to hear about. I don't know if you've written a book yet, but you need to write a book. And
Everybody's been telling me that. So
mm-hmm.
okay, let's ask that question again. What am I doing in my 70s? Pam, I'm gonna
Yes, what are
write a
you
book.
excited
I'm
about?
gonna write a
Yes,
book.
there you
I'm
go.
gonna write a book. I'm
Write a
gonna
book, and
write a
then
book,
that supports
y'all.
your speaking gigs. The book
Yeah,
supports your speaking gigs as well. I'm going to tell
right.
you to also look towards doing a TED Talk, being a TED Talk speaker. And that's where you can kind of give a lesson in telling your
Mhm.
story as well. So
Okay.
that's another good one for you.
We're gonna talk. You and I gotta sit over coffee and talk about that.
Absolutely. That's what
Yeah,
I
for
do.
sure.
I'm a
Sure. No,
strategist.
for
And
real. Yeah. That's what
yes.
I'm gonna look. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yes, there you go. That you got to fit the dream into your passion, and
Yeah.
make it viable, something that is
Yes.
accessible. And this is
Mm-hmm.
certainly right down your alley. It should be
Thank
what's
you. I'm
next.
gonna. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's
For
so
sure.
funny. It's so funny because all my life, I never planned anything.
Hmm.
I never planned.
Wow.
I just took the step, and things would happen. I just took the steps. And sometimes I said, well, if you had a plan, maybe you'd be further along in your life. Maybe you'd be better off. But I've never planned. Everything that I did was just
Hmm.
wake up this morning, do that. Wake up this morning, do that. Wake up this morning and do that. Just like
Hmm.
I said, when I moved from LA, I didn't think about it. He said it. I did it. I did it. God
Yeah.
said it. I did it. So um,
But
I've
highly
always,
successful in that. Because of
yes.
your mindset, because of that Leo and you and who you are, that's why you just like boom and it happened.
And
And
it
it's
happens.
but imagine,
Yes.
I agree with you on the planning
Yes.
part though. I do agree with you. So that's what
Yes.
we're gonna do for 70. I
That's
would
what we're going to do for 70.
yes,
Yeah.
indeed. That the 70th decade, that
Hmm.
decade. So
And
yeah.
a lot of things that I'll maybe share with people about my life.
Mm-hmm.
For years and years and years, I kept a diary. I
Mm-hmm.
wrote everything down every teardrop, every smile, every
Mhm.
dollar, everything. I've got books and books and books of diaries. People used to, for my birthday, would give me diaries because they knew that I would write a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
And I
yes.
haven't done that in a while. And I think I maybe need to start, especially if I'm going to start doing this book, just start putting pen to paper again and
Mhm.
just expressing myself,
Mhm.
expressing myself. But I think I got to a point, I think the reason why I stopped is because I got to a point where I felt that I didn't have the need to do it anymore. I felt like some of the things that I put in the book were things that I would not say out loud,
Mm.
and now I live out loud.
Yes, there you
I,
go.
I truly live out loud.
There you
And
go.
so I don't even need to write it down anymore because
Yes.
I'm living the things that I want to. If I'm going to say it to you, I'm not holding anything in. I'm not going to write
That's
down, I
right.
wish I would have told them. I wish I would.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you now. So I'm living out loud. So I think
Yeah.
that has a lot to do with why I don't find the need to diary anymore,
Mhm.
to
Well,
journal anymore.
I have spent this whole entire week, and I thought, oh, I'll be done in a however long. And a new book
Okay.
is that I've been working on all week long, and I think I will have everything that I need to do, as far as the outline of what the impact that that book is going to make, that my intention for it to make,
Mm-hmm.
will
Mm-hmm.
be ready. So I definitely want to share that with you, and
Okay, for
some of the
sure.
strategies in that. But
Yeah.
how can people find you? Like, what do you put out there for
I'm
people
all
to
over. Look, I'm all over the
just
place.
Cheryl Shiver and boom, boom,
I'm all just look,
boom.
just put that name in, it should pop up. No, but on Instagram, I'm Cheryl underscore fit over 60. That
Mhm.
pretty much does my fitness stuff.
Okay.
But my page where I have the most followers, I have over 50,000 followers. That's on Cheryl underscore Cali Girl, leader of the pack. And my oldest brother Gary, one time he saw, that wasn't my original name. He saw a post and he said, my sister is the leader of the pack. I said, oh, I'm using that. So I stole that. So it's Cheryl underscore Cali Girl, leader of the pack. And on that one, I have just my life, guys. Everything that I do, every place that I go, everything that I eat. And I also put in some of my fitness journey in there as well because I only have 4,000 on my fitness. So I was trying to get people to go over to the fitness page. So I kind of put some of my fitness stuff on there as well. And
Mhm.
then I have one that I'm going to have to probably I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or not, but I have one that's called 60 is IZ hip.
Okay.
And on that one, I was selling merchandise, trying to be proud to be 60. I
Mhm.
had
Mhm.
uh, had jumpsuits, I had workout gear, t-shirts, and beanies and caps. So if
Okay.
you're proud of being 60, look it up because
Yes.
right now I'm doing a discount. I'm trying to offload that because I'm getting ready to change the branding. So if you're
Mhm.
still in your 60s and you want some 60s hip gear and it's really, really cute, go to the site, DM me, and everything on that page now is only between $10 and $20, even my jumpers. So I'm just trying to move that out so
Oh,
I
I
can change
love
my
that.
branding. So
Yeah.
60 IZ, 60 is hip. Go there. If
Mhm.
you see something you like on there, DM me and make sure you get it. And then my real estate is Cheryl, the deal closer.
Sounds
And
awesome.
then from those, you'll find my YouTube and all that other stuff. You go on that one page, I have the link tree, and you can find all
Okay.
of my social media stuff.
And we will put all of those links down, references on this broadcast as well, so people can, find and be reminded of everything. So, but
Yes.
I want to make sure that everyone continues to receive your rays of light. And you're here, of course, to remind us that age is not a limit. It's a testament to every lesson learned, every triumph achieved,
Yes.
and every
Yes.
moment lived fully. So thank
Yes.
you. Thank you,
thank,
Cheryl
thank you for
Shriver,
having me. Thank you so much for having me.
for
It's been
joining.
very
Stay
fun.
on
Thank you
just a
so much.
moment so I can do a
Okay.
few photos. And
Okay.
don't forget to like and subscribe this channel and the Wise Women Do podcast YouTube channel. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. All right.